Asher Merwin was born March 30th, 1818 in Kinderhook, New York. His wife, Elizabeth Ham Merwin, was born December 16th, 1818 in the same area. He did die in Palatka on August 9th, 1909, and is buried in the Westview Cemetery. It's November 23rd, 2013 now, and we're in Westview Cemetery, Palatka, Florida. Asher is the father figure, as he was father of most of the Merwins who came to Palatka. When I was a child, I always understood it that Asher came here first. But then I was told that Henry came here first when he was selling horses, and that he then told some of the others about it, and others came here and resided either for short times or for longer, and then ultimately a number of them moved here and stayed here. There are other family in the Merwins that came here that were not his children, but were children of his brothers or sisters. In the 1860s, Henry was either in Illinois or Colorado as far as a lot of things listed, but he was traveling a lot, and some of the things I've found about him have indicated that he was in the horse business, and so he very well could have come here for that sort of reason or some other trading reason, and then ultimately caused others to move here. M. Merwin, son of Henry and Estelle Merwin, born in March 9th of 1884 and died January 27th of 1906. Buried in the Westview Cemetery, but not next to Asher and Elizabeth. So, and we don't know a whole lot about Albert. We need to try and find out more. My understanding, though, he's 22, and from what I've been able to tell, I have no list that he was married, and he wasn't listed in the Miles Merwin Association as having married or had children. When I asked Dad about this, the only comment he made was that this was the Albert his middle name is from, as he was Gerald Albert Merwin Sr. and Jerry is Gerald Albert Merwin Jr., that this was that Albert. There are empty Merwin plots in this cemetery in several different places.
Now, would that mean that there may be other Merwins there, or that they're available to Merwins?
Either. In the early 1970s, I went through the records at the city of Palatka, and what I was told originally was, yes, there were empty plots in this cemetery, and so we went down to the city hall. Brian Michaels is who we met with, and we went over it, and he basically told the person at the clerk's office in the city, no, that if there were plots here and they were listed in the family name, they were usable. Yes,
like
they
Philip's
have.
Parents are buried over.
Right, they have resumed burial in the 80s or whatever, and I think that was partially because, you know, they did say, well, there's empty plots, and if people own them, they can do it, or they sold the ones that the city still listed as not. When I asked my dad why they would have bought on the same day plots, empty plots in 3 different places in the same cemetery, his answer was, well, you know, they didn't always get along, and it may have been they decided that some of them didn't want to be buried with others, and so that would have made sense.
Or somebody like I might want to start their own family here. There wasn't room over here.
That's very possible too.
Family plot.
we're at the grave site of Jane Merwin, 1845 to 1917. We're not sure whose child she was. She married Albert Holcomb, who was 1844 to 1913, and I asked my mother if she knew how Jane was related or about the Holcombs. She said that Mabel DeHaven, D-E-H-A-V-E-N, was a Holcomb before she married into the DeHaven family, and that she had told my mother and dad in the 60s that she was related through her grandmother. And she gave them a couple silver spoons when she went into a nursing home because she had no children. And she was not quite sure how they were related, but she remembered her mother saying that they were related to the Merwins through her grandmother. Elizabeth Ham Merwin was born on October 20th in 1815 in Windham, New York, right alongside Kinderhook, New York. And she resided in 1880 in Empire, Illinois. She died June 24th, 1885 in Palatka, and she's buried in Westview Cemetery alongside her husband Asher and one of her children, her daughter Jennie, in the Westview Cemetery. Elizabeth and Asher had 8 children. Their oldest child was Catherine Merwin, born in 1841. Edward was born in 1842. George W. was born in 1844. Jennie Clark Merwin was born in 1845. Henry Merwin was born in 1848. Marie Merwin in 1850. Sarah Merwin in 1852, and David Kay was born in 1856.